me read a little bit from Shine Bright. She writes, my love of music is intense. My commitment to it is steadfast. This project is an attempt to figure out why. When I talk about Black women in music at colleges, on my Black Girl Songbook show, to my husband, my friends, it's normal for me to weep. My voice breaks. I'm looking up because my eyes are brimming. Someone hands me a tissue. It's dramatic, but it's real. There are no reasons. Well, we're going to get into some of that with the author of Shine Bright, a very personal history of Black women in pop. Let me welcome the great Danyel Smith. Hi.
Oh, man. What's going on, Karen Hunter?
Hey. Happy publication day. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. I couldn't be spinning it with anybody better or more appropriate. Hello.
Come on now. Come on through. Listen, I remember you in Wendy Washington's office before, after Vibe and all. I mean, people don't know you. If you're talking about music and writing, first of all, you're one of the baddest writers out there. For real. Like, this woman can straight up write. That just one paragraph, everything. But music, before we get into the book, tell me about this love affair. How did it start?
My love affair with music?
Yeah.
My goodness, man.
The first song.
Oh, the first song that I ever really fell in love with was the Jackson 5 ABC. When I'm like 8 years old. I mean, how do you not fall in love with that, right? It's like a nursery rhyme. ABC as easy as 1, 2, 3, as simple as do, re, mi. It's like, come on. You're singing that as a kid, and it's like, what you're talking about. That's your music. So I was in love from that moment forward.
When did you discover the transformative power of music? I was talking yesterday about the verses with Mary and BB and CC on Easter Sunday, and Stevie Wonder comes in, who I know is one of the greatest performers, but like, there's something very spiritual. I remember being a kid, my parents had the amazing music collection, which included everything from Richard Pryor to Nina Simone. And I remember when Songs in the Key of Life, that cover with that orange and brown and the yellow, and that's, it's just, you
remember the lyric book that was inside too, with all the lyrics to all the songs,
everything.
Songs I
mean, yes. it was a love letter, literally, whole thing. And Earth, Wind and Fire, the Commodore, like, I just remember this music. What was your household like? What were the albums that were on rotation Saturday morning?
It sounded like right now it's very similar to what your house was like. We definitely had Songs in the Key of Life. I love that album so much. Our dog's name is Key, Key, after Songs in the Key of Life. That's how seriously we take Stevie Wonder over here. But we also listened to a lot of Barbra Streisand. We had Richard Pryor. We had the Supremes, Teddy Pendergrass, definitely a whole lot of Natalie Cole. My grandmother was very into Nancy Wilson. We listened to a lot of Etta James, Tina Marie, Michael Franks. Like, I could go on and on and on with it. It was a musical household.
Okay. So then when you became a journalist, was it happen chance that you leaned into this?
I mean, to be honest, when I got into journalism, I wasn't even writing about music. I was just happy to be writing. The paper that I worked for in San Francisco, they would send me to stuff like, oh, the olive oil convention is coming to town. Can you go cover that? And listen, I was happy. I put on my big girl boots and went right over there and covered it like a champ, right? But the thing is, at that time in Oakland, I'm from the Bay Area, born and raised in the great city of Oakland, California. And I really was like, there is a music scene going on here that it seems like people aren't really covering enough. We had Tony, we had In Vogue, we had MC Hammer, we had Too Short, we had Digital Underground with Tupac Shakur. We had dozens and dozens of other great groups that didn't even get to be as famous as they could be. We had Paris, we had The Coup with Boots Riley. We had all of these great groups. And so then I just sort of started easing into covering that scene.
I was talking with Perry Pebbles, who's also from the Bay Area,
and from Oakland.
I'm sorry, from
Oakland.
Yes, from Oakland.
Yes,
and she was making the same point, and to the point that she even wanted to do kind of a music reality show featuring just Bay Area artists, because that's how dope the scene is there even now. Like there's
Even
not
now.
enough homage paid to it. So I know
I
you're
mean,
telling the truth.
you think about Her is from the Bay Area also. There's so many great ones. People forget about, I'm glad you brought up Harry. Pebbles. She, she had Do You Want to Ride in My Mercedes Boy and all those great records. She just is, yes, an Oakland girl through and through.
Oh yeah, yeah, for real though. Like
Yes.
for real. Like there's a
Yes.
whole other. I know. So
Yes.
now I'm seeing you differently now, because y'all got a cut with you too. There's like a cut with the Oakland that you don't want to mess with at all. Don't let the nice weather fool you.
You want to know something about who else I was inspired by though? You want me to tell you a little secret?
Come on, tell me.
There's this girl that I know who wrote this biography of LL Cool J. Mm-hmm. There is a girl that I know, and her name is Karen Hunter.
Stop it. There's no way. There's no way that book inspired. Let me tell you.
I make my own rules. Do not mess with me, Karen Hunter. I read that book early on. I was so impressed by the way you told LL's story. This is years ago. This is when you and I were not quite kids in the game, but very young in the game.
We were in our 20s for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
And that book, one, I love the title. I love the way
that was him. That was him.
Yeah,
that was him. Like he had this obscure song. I remember we had gone to Washington. We were with the publisher, which was St. Martin's Press. We met, Bill Clinton was being inaugurated or what have you. LL was performing. We met in this hotel and we met with the publisher and the editor, and we're sitting there going over titles, like sealing the deal. He performs for them. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I was sitting there going, that's that doesn't, like Mama Said Knock You Out was out, I Need Love. I mean, there was so many other things that would have resonated, but that title was perfect.
It was perfect. And it remains perfect. I have the hardcover, girl. It is seriously in my office on my shelf with all my treasured books. I love that book. That's why I'm saying it is so appropriate for me to be talking to you on publication day for me, because I just always remember she told his story so well. And also you mentioned my husband, Elliot. Elliot says, do not forget to tell Karen how much you love that book when you get on her show.
Elliot Wilson, icon, and the Wonder Twins, y'all together is like, what? How did that happen? Like two powerful people in music, y'all together, come on now.
We do not know what happened. We don't.
Well, I told you give me hope for Black love, because the way y'all move in the world, it brings me joy. So I just want to tell him I said hello, give him a hug and a kiss.
I shall.
Now, you sitting down doing this book, Shine Bright.
Yes.
First of all, tell me the why the title.
Oh, Shine Bright speaks very specifically to two different songs, but also just I feel like it's a personal mantra for me to remind myself to shine bright. But then also it's a command, I feel, that I want to send out as an inspiration for Black women to shine bright all the time. Because the two songs that I have in mind when you were just talking about the title that you gave to the LL Cool J memoir, it's like, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That song is sung by everybody. It's sung by so many Black women. It's sung by so many little Black girls, a lot of times as their first solo, as a part of the children's choir. And, it's very like, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every little where I go, I'm gonna let it shine. So I love that part of it. But then we can spin it forward decades and decades and decades. And we have Rihanna saying, shine bright like a diamond. And it's just like, are we still out here saying that we need to shine bright? We are. But it's time that, it's lovely to hear it and to have all these inspirational songs, over the decades about shining bright. But I think it is time that we really just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
What did Master P used to say? We could start, if we're going to talk about it, right? Let's be about it.
Be about it.
Right?
That's right.
Yes.
All right. So as people are reading this book and they're learning about you, because this is very personal, it's a very personal journey that you're on, what is that you want them to walk away with knowing about Danyel Smith?
I mean, it's a good merge of my personal story and the biographies of different women over the years, you know, from Ella Fitzgerald on up and through like Beyonce's performance at Coachella. But I am in there, and it was time for me definitely to claim my story in the story of Black women in music. Just me having been editor in chief of Vibe and editor of Billboard, and the things that I've done to contribute. But I often find when I do speak that there are assumptions made about me. And one of the main ones is that my life kind of functioned as a straight arrow from like, oh my God, she was really good in high school and she went to a really good college and she went to a really good graduate school. Then she joined NABJ and then she, you know what I'm saying? She just became editor in chief of Vibe and it all just happened. And girl, she just, no, okay, no. Like, like absolutely not. Let's just, what does Justin Bieber say? Immediately, no. Like, no, it did not
No.
go down like that.
Well,
I
I'm
did not have.
gonna throw a foul. You just quoted Justin Bieber on my show. I'm gonna have to call a foul on that. No, absolutely not.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Foul taken. I'm benched, but I'm right back in. I'm right back in. Right. Just sat down real quick. Right back in. You put me back in the game. So can I just say though, it's like I didn't have a bachelor's degree until I was 37. I did not. I had to drop out of UC Berkeley when I was about 19 or 20 for the reasons that we all drop out if we did drop out: money, stress, didn't feel I belonged there, those types of things. My sister and I were roommates probably until I got married. And everyone also tends to think that I've been married to Elliot for not almost 17 years, but for maybe what, 30 years or
30
something.
years, yeah.
Elliot is my second husband. I had one, I had a marriage with, you know, a decent guy. He's not my guy, you know what I mean? But I had to get through that and it was very tough. And then something I talk about also in Shine Bright is just my childhood was very tumultuous. It was not the type of childhood where you would think, you know, I was out there all the time singing This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine. I definitely had the kind of childhood where my little light was, you know, definitely being extinguished by abusive adults. So we get past these things though, don't we? And the thing is, I want people to know, and especially other Black women to know, that because you see someone and it looks like, oh, you know, they've accomplished a lot or they've done things in their career, it's like, yeah, but there's always a story. There's always a story. There's always a story.